All right, let's move all of this stuff off the wall. So our first step is going to be to identify the slope and the y-intercept of the equation. And I'm going to color code my notes. So I'm going to highlight just the word slope in um, pink and y-intercept in blue. Yeah, because it makes a difference. So I probably should not have written identify in blue. Let's go with a color that I won't use. There we go, identify. Okay, so then our first, or after we've identified our slope and our y-intercept, and that is actually like written in the problem. Then we are going to put a point on the y-axis at the y-intercept value or the initial value of for that we identified from our equation. Okay. And then we're going to use the slope to move to the next point. So in our slope should be a fraction. If it's not a fraction, we can make it a fraction as long as so like we have our numerator and our denominator for the slope. The numerator is the top number, and it tells us whether we're moving up or down. So if the numerator is positive, we're going to move up. If the numerator is negative, we move down. Okay. Same thing with, well, not the same thing with the denominator, but the denominators are bottom number in our fraction. And so denominator, bottom number. Numerator is the top number. Ooh, that orange-pink combination is not good. So if the denominator is positive, you're going to move to the right. If the denominator is negative, you move to the left. Okay. Whatever that number is. So again, if it's a number without a fraction, we're going to make it a fraction by putting it over a 1. And we're going to use a positive 1. That's how we make any number into a fraction. And then once we have our 2 points, so we have a point here at our y-intercept, and then we'll have a point that we got from using our slope, then we're going to draw a straight line because it's a linear function, a linear equation through those 2 points. So what would that look like? Well, our slope, the slope is the number with the x. So our slope is a -4. Oh my goodness, it's not a fraction. Put it over +1. The y-intercept, and I'm including the plus or the minus that's with it, but the y-intercept is the number without the x. So it's a +3. I'm not going to put a plus sign, but if you really wanted to, you can. Okay, so that tells me then that I'm starting at a +3 on my y-axis. The y-axis is the one that goes up and down. So then I use my slope, and I'm going to count down 4 spots, y down, because my 4 is negative. My numerator, top number, is negative. So I'm going to go down 4. My 1 in the denominator here is positive. So down 4, right 1, put a point. And then I would draw a straight line, or as straight of a line as possible, through the 2 points and put arrows at the end because lines go on forever and ever in both directions. All right. What if, well, I'll get to that here in a minute. Example B, my slope, -5/3. There's a negative there in front of the fraction. When I write it, it's only going to go with one of the numbers. So I typically will put it with the top number when I write my fraction. So I have a -5 over +3. My y-intercept, well, there is no number without. There is nothing. There's nothing here. So we can make it a +0. So I'm starting at a 0. And then my 5 is negative, so I'm going to count down 5. And write 3, put a point, draw a line. And for those of you who are like, well, what if I if I put the negative with the 3, and my slope was a +5, -3? Okay, cool. So that would mean I'd count up 5. Well, actually, let me draw my line first. Let's see if I can get it straight. It's got to be like there. Okay, close enough. Okay, so if it was a +5, -3, so then I would count up 5 and left 3. Oh my goodness, that point is on the line too. Shocking. All right. Example C, slope, number with the x. Well, I see an x, but I don't see a number. It's a 1. If I see an x without a number, it's always a 1. And to make it a fraction, we put it over a 1. Okay. And we use positive numbers. Y-intercept, number without the x. It's the -4. So in this case, I'm going to start at the -4 on the y-axis. And then I'm going to count up 1 and right 1 and put a point. And I'm going to draw my line, going through those 2 points. Last one, y = 4. There is no x. So just like up here on B, I had nothing behind the x. On C, I had an x, but no number in front of the x. On D, there is no x. So how could I write that saying there is no x? Well, I could write that as saying 0x, right? Because 0 times anything is 0, and 0 plus 4 is just a 4. So this is writing way too much stuff, but it gives me my number with the x here for my slope of 0 over 1, because I need a fraction. My y-intercept is the number without the x. Oh, that's a +4. Okay, so I know where I'm starting. I'm starting at a +4, 3, 4. And I'm going up, no point, but over 1. And again, up, no point, over 1 to the right, because my 1 was positive. So when I draw the line here, it is a straight line horizontal, but it's still a straight line. Okay, so at this point, if you flip your paper over, you have 6 more problems. That is your assignment for today. It's even dated April 18th. That is today. When you're done, turn it in. Groovy. I am done for the day.